One of my students contacted me recently with a serious problem, which was that she was doubting her business, her abilities, and she was quite depressed. So I asked her, what happened? Why are you in that situation? So she says she had done a website. She's a web designer, a professional web designer. She had done a website for a client. The client paid for it. And then they just disappeared. And the next thing she knows, that website was taken down and it was completely redone by someone else, which probably meant that the client was unhappy with the website and didn't even tell my student that this is what the issues were. Now, things like that can really shake anybody's confidence, and it can put a lot of doubts in your head, just like with my student. But doubt is like a cancer in business. If you don't control it, it will control you. And it will just keep growing and growing and growing. The moment you give it the first opportunity to start growing in your mind, then that's a downhill spiral. It will never stop. So you need to manage doubt. Just like fear, doubt is something that is very real and also very dangerous. But when you use it to your advantage, it actually can be very good for you. So don't think that doubt is always a bad thing, not necessarily. It's just when it takes you into a negative spiral and it causes you to question everything, or puts you into a situation where it completely debilitates you, where you can't move forward, you don't know what's the next step. So just be careful of that when you are in business, particularly when you are starting up. But trust me when I tell you, even seasoned entrepreneurs, I'm talking people that have been at it for 4 or 5 decades, that are multimillionaires or even billionaires, who I know, often doubt themselves also. So everybody has doubts, but you need to overcome it, or rather, you need to control it. Otherwise, it will destroy you and it will destroy your business. Now, where does doubt actually come from? Well, doubt has its triggers. As confident as you can be, if you are experiencing low sales or no sales in your business, it's natural to start doubting yourself, particularly if you know that you have competitors and those competitors are doing well and you're seeing everybody around you is succeeding and thriving, and yet here you are with no sales and really struggling to get any sales going. So that's the one thing, when your business is not doing that well. The second thing is when you get a bad customer review, especially when you are a startup. Now, for a startup founder, your business is almost an extension of yourself. And it's almost like your own child. And for somebody to say something negative about it, it shakes you up. Let's face that, that's a reality. It shakes you up. For the simple reason that you have attached your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations to this business, your livelihood into this business. It's something that you've created in your own image. And poking fun at it becomes a very personal thing. I know people will tell you it's not right, that you shouldn't do that, but I mean, I've been at it for like 12 years and I'm still trying to separate my business from myself. It's difficult, but it's a great thing also, right? It's your strength as a startup business. It's where the uniqueness of your business comes from. It's where the competitive advantage of your business can come from. But again, you can't let that overpower you, because that will lead to doubts, and those doubts will lead to all kinds of other problems. And the third thing is, the third trigger for self-doubt is if anything happens that shakes your personal confidence. Now, where does that come from? Sometimes it just comes from fatigue or burnout, mental or physical fatigue. it starts to have emotional effects, and that drags you down emotionally. And when you are dragged down emotionally, then it's very easy to fall into a negative mindset. Then you start thinking about all the negative things, and then you start doubting yourself. So when you are in a state of mind where you feel like you are going into a negative spiral and you're starting to doubt everything, just look back over the past few days and try to remember what exactly happened that triggered your state of doubt. And once you've nailed it, once you've got it, then you can put a name to it and you can manage it. Now, how do you manage doubt? Let me give you an analogy. When you go to a dentist with a severe toothache, what does the dentist do? The dentist doesn't say, well, we're going to have to remove all your teeth because you've got a toothache. Nobody does that, right? So what does the dentist do? The dentist will identify which tooth is causing you that discomfort, and then the dentist will put you under the spotlight and identify that tiny, 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 tiny cavity, which might be a fraction of the size of the tooth, but because it's hit that nerve, it's causing you that agony. So the dentist, first and foremost, will identify that. And secondly, he will action a solution. What does he do? He drills and fills. So you need to approach your doubts in a surgical manner. First and foremost, you need to approach it. You need to deal with it. Don't let it linger, because like I said, it's like a cancer and it'll just keep growing and growing and growing inside you. So you need to fix it now, not later, today, and you need to be surgical about your doubt, about what the root cause of it is. And the best way to do this is to avoid it altogether. Like Mr. Miyagi said, best way to block punch is not be there when happen. The best way to block a punch is to just not be there. It's to just avoid it completely. So how do you avoid doubt? 3 things. Firstly, when you are starting your business, or even if you have started, you need to do some self-reflection. And you need to get a very good understanding of who you are and what your strengths and what your weaknesses are. And work on those, right? You leverage your strengths and work on your weaknesses, or hire somebody to do the things that you are weak at. Because identifying where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are will enable you to make the most of that situation. So when you make the most of the situation, what you are doing is you are leveraging your strengths and you're finding solutions for your weaknesses. Then in actual fact, what you are doing is you are putting a foolproof strategy to make sure that your weaknesses never hold you back. So doubt in that regard is now put away. You never ever have to doubt that, because you've got a rock solid strategy to deal with that. So first and foremost, yourself. The second thing in your business is your product or your service. You see, a lot of people doubt because they haven't done one crucial thing, which is market research. So do your market research and understand your product and your customers very well, and understand whether your product is actually a fit for your customers or not. Sometimes it's better to establish that at the outset rather than to constantly doubt. You didn't do your market research, for example, and throughout now the next few months or years, you are wondering, is this product good? Is this product a good solution for my customers? Is it going to do what it's supposed to do? Is anybody going to buy it? Now you can eliminate that level of doubt by doing your market research. And finally, make sure you have a good solid marketing and sales plan that is also very dynamic. Because usually when things are not working out in your business. Say you've done that self-reflection, layer 1 sorted, foundation. Layer 2 sorted, you've done your market research, you know your products, you know your customers. And if your products are still not selling, or your services, then there's a problem with your marketing plan. But that's the least of your worries there, because that's just a dynamic document that you need to keep changing. So when you start doubting, your doubt stays on that level only, on the level of your marketing and sales plan. It doesn't penetrate all the way down into yourself, where you start doubting yourself also. Because when you start doubting yourself, that's it. Your entire foundation is being attacked. So by doing self-reflection, you're consolidating that part, you're safeguarding it from doubt. By doing your market research, you're safeguarding that. And now you focus on your marketing and sales plan. And that's where most of your problems are. And so you keep tweaking that. There, if you doubt that one, it's not that difficult to tackle that doubt, because you can do beta testing, you can run different types of campaigns, you can try different strategies for marketing and sales until you succeed. You need to do that until you succeed. So these are the ways to tackle doubt. And if you are doubting, the one last bit of advice that I can give you is find yourself a mentor, because a mentor will help you to see your business from a perspective that you can't. With those few words, thank you so much for being here. Bye-bye.